frontline feet and naughty gays. BDSM boys loving my deep space. Guys are happy as long as we're together. Gals choke chains, syringes, and leather. Fat ass moo cow, put it on my face now. Make my dick say ni hao. Kenzerazao say popo sao. Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone throws the freaks a meaty bone. Turn the tides of annihilation. Penetrate bald-headed bitch stagnation. To be or not to be. Sue and read matrimony. Not out for clout, no doubt, no diggity. Cause an earthquake, shaking them cakes giggity. Can you tell I can't wait for jiggly booty mecha break? Twitch approve my ding-a-ling for first ascent in hot spring. GTA 6 better have big titties. Anime and Anta need tree fitty. Kyle no, Kyle stop, Kyle deeper. Bumba clot, came for the gamer, shouldn't have missed. Rather be dead than caught with this. Ugly and androgynous. No tacos, no sausages. Pronoun chest, I can't digest it. East versus west, it's no contest. Crimson Desert, Inzoi, AstroTurf, Aloy, Wu-Chang, Wukong, Wu-Tang, Bing Bong, woke gay devs, non-binary sewing. Rather watch titties go boing, boing. Chi, oh, bye. Moge, 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 moge. Hello, beta testers. Like, comment, subscribe, and join if you have the answer to which of what I present is the Gooner game. An extremely vocal sentiment of the Love and Deep Space player base seem to need to defend their game against Goon material allegations because of a period tracker built into the app. And like true women in some cases, instead of recognizing and confronting the eyebrow-raise-worthy data collection for China game, ladies immediately jump to defending how there's nothing sexual about period tracker because drama mongers knew that it was bait they could catch you with. In related news, Love and Deep Space BDSM update that happens to overlap with Valentine's Day allows the girls to fulfill their fantasies playing rough and being roughly played with by their preferred boys. Get yours, Goonettes. And the fatter the titties of the girls playing these games, the more we want them in our face. But if we can inject ourselves in our preferences for no reason, since it's the trendy queer style of the time, I'm inclined to assert that men could never get away with some of the sanity meter, caged waifu, syringe and chain, whimpering as I choke you and shove your dog tags in your mouth kind of material. Just highlighting the double standard. Sometimes there's a big case made on our side of the fence about how what we want is never allowed, and sometimes it's just them looking attractive. As Dia laughed, saying, she of course has no problem with any of this content, but wonders if it isn't pushing it a little for an otome game. I've no more thoughts to bore you with on this topic other than to acknowledge the overwhelming profit and joy the girls harmlessly enjoying their outlet that we want you to have and have us stay out of the decisions of, because it's not our business. Do you get what I'm saying? Did I say that? As much as we wish for the queer meddling with our video games to stop, we would never want someone sabotaging what you appreciate in your harmless game. So if any of the girls could be vocal about the disgust that they're witnessing in the way of forced androgyny, reaching down to things like Pokemon and The Sims, you'd be my Valentine 5 ever. It's why I'm excited for normality that I'm seeing out of the East, with people modeling characters and allowing customization that can actually achieve pretty instead of the surgery scar identity politics nonsense that seems to be, government funded on this side. Some of the same entities who pushed for these surgery transgender scars in The Sims saw to it that people were fired because of their agenda-heavy slop they needed to inject into Dragon Age, and many of the fired Concord developers are being brought on to studios like 343, forgive me, I mean Halo Studios, to further kill those previously beloved titles because of triggered, insecure narcissists. In the same way the pronoun avowed game disappoints, I believe Crimson Desert will astound with a focus on the game instead of which pronoun the Sushi Squad Spider-Man devs are concerned about injecting. Pretty is the problem for these entities, and its glorified ruler holders like Alex of Digital Foundry angry enough to hurl homosexual dilation dialogue at a series of ones and zeros because of how triggered and threatened they are by an attractive woman in a video game that they haven't and probably don't want to play, or didn't at the time that they made these ludicrous statements. As angry as trans are at Hogwarts Legacy, as angry as DEI developers are at Lara Croft having breasts and presenting feminine, just gotta flatten those, gotta rewrite history. Honestly, it's not enough that Lara has flat boobs. She should probably be a man now. And Tomb Raider is offensive to these pussies, the term, I mean, because they should be apologizing and returning anything that was taken and running with a team of diverse or oppressed minorities looking like a Burger King Kids Club, right? Looking like Doris from Shrek. And also, Lara should just be gay, so watch out for that. Lesbian Lara in the future in an upcoming big jaw Crystal Dynamics abortion. And then people like Dev can come out of the woodwork on that ignorant freshman energy, unaware of the defiantly deliberate difference between approved woke male gaze averting lesbians and the actually inclusive equal iteration that maybe everyone might appreciate enough for it to be profitable. But you know what? Disingenuous entities are the lifeblood of internet discussion. So because the bar is so low that a tweet of mine surprised Tides of Annihilation's protagonist can actually look like a girl, everybody is recognizing that it's because it's an Eastern game. Someone is already pulling out Old Reliable with the PDF accusation because if you were in a cult, you might be brain damaged enough to think you could shame or guilt people into believing this nonsense too. Maybe if you keep saying that it's unappealing, maybe if you keep saying you're a woman, this will become true and everybody else will agree with and think as you do. It's crazy. I only ever cared about the games. Black Desert devs making Crimson Desert and soon Doke V. Azure Lanes devs making Azure Promelia Mecha Break has a beta on the 23rd, 2 days after my birthday. Infinity Nikkei and Love and Deep Space share a developer. First Descendants' beautiful Hot Spring update brings players pouring back into the free game to at the very least ogle the girls and wonder where the hell the jiggle physics at. Alright? You need to tone that way up. And where are the dance moves? Marvel Rivals is looking for the swimsuit bundle. You need to, the Descendant has it, so we need to remember our roots, NetEase. Halo's Chief and Cortana solidified more things than just a legacy among gamers, and it would have lived on in the minds of players who couldn't get enough. But the instant it got into gay hands, they toned asses down, nerfed Cortana, and in the other hands, they needed to take Chief out of his helmet. My God, man. Promise, lie, fail to follow through. 343 transitioning to Halo Studios, so pathetic and ignorant. We know what you are, and your out-of-touch refusal to supply what players demand makes you worse than a normie. And this goes for the whole California fucking gaming industry. Forced extraction shooters with Aloy tier sexless character design. The Concord era has lessons to teach, but the woke West is only willing to listen now that propaganda funding has run out, and what does slip out of people's ever-tightening wallets are going to the Asian games, who aren't made by freaks offended by two biological genders. Stellar Blade developer Shift Up plans a huge DLC for its explosively lucrative game, Nikkei Goddess of Victory. Maybe you've seen me standing with Doro for a while. That's a character from this game, and she's one of the few getting some skins. And it's going to be huge for gaming because when I start modding in girls that gamers have wanted to see kick ass in gaming for a long time, not the ESG DEI toned down, offended, dyed hair, no titty version, but a little bit of what you might see in a Ninja Gaiden. And Ninja Gaiden couldn't help but shrink the breasts. I cannot get jiggy with that. But the little bit of delicious is still there. So it's time to regard what kids are calling gooning for what it really is: profitable. People are loving the Reed and Sue skins that have a fun, charming wedding music playing in the midst of the abilities. It's triggering, of course, to the only media-ruining entities offended by normality and heterosexuality because of their cult's doctrine. May I read you something I found in the Avowed game last night? And I quote, "To achieve true victory, one must target the youth. You will never convert the old guards, too stubborn in their heathen ways. But the young, they are flexible, malleable, and if all else fails, easy targets, who you cannot make soldiers, make victims and examples. When first asserting control over a population, a show of force is recommended. Heal the children, and their parents will follow. Hope is like a Zorip egg, best ground underfoot," end quote. You know, I've been hearing this kind of stuff verbatim from these insane developers. Ages ago, I made an intro leading up to the launch of Stellar Blade, and at the time, our only concern was Sony censoring it, which, surprise, surprise. But what's really nuts is, aside from my inaccurate squirrel girling in the hit, sexy, jiggle physics waifu life service Marvel Rivals, is Sony censoring Stellar Blade in its pre-Concord psychopath DEI-soaked stupor. I remember Kim saying he knows the answer won't satisfy fans. And as we approach the PC launch and Project Witches in the future, I'll remember who put Kim in that position. Homie's a billionaire now. I wonder if you'll be kind enough to aid Sony's new astroturfing campaign with the baldy they them in their upcoming Neil Druckmann slop Intergalactic. You think he's going to slide that character into that game? Do you think she'll do well with her flat chest and her ball head? You know, people will probably just make some compilations of her, you know, them not touching the controller and letting nature take its course, right? Just talking about what the actor calls DEI-licious makes me embarrassed because, like Sensitive Saints Row from a now dead Volition studio, or a Master Chief who needs to take his mask off, you fucking losers just don't get it. Games like Crimson Desert and Project Ananta impress people the way Pow World did. It comes with a bit of skepticism and a verbal ejaculation of, really? Games like Kingmakers, they scratch an itch at a glance where people think to themselves, if it actually looks the way that it's selling itself to me, I'll play that. I'd buy that. I like that. You're seeing the same thing out of Tides of Annihilation. People are going, yeah, a return to something. These things are made by people who maybe get down in this space, as opposed to someone that just wants to tell a narrative story with their really enlightened fucking perspective that they're delivering with this identity politics fucking garbage that people do not ingest escape entertainment to be bored by. Take that shit back to your ugly California DEI design goblin cave, okay? Stop having the opposite effect you're supposed to have on people that you're trying to get to buy something. You have one chance at a first impression, and if what you choose to do with a video game is waste people's time with a fucking trailer with as many fucking minorities as you can find to really just show how hollow and virtue signally that you are with this story that you don't have to tell on the back of an aesthetic that you borrowed because people like Cyberpunk, people like Elden Ring. What the fuck is wrong with you? Years ago on this channel, I set out to inform people, but I knew no amount of convincing was going to result in good things with how controversial my words can inadvertently end up coming across. I come across these creatively bankrupt losers who only hold their positions because of ticked boxes, what ideology that they're willing to get on their knees and agree with, you know what I mean? But maybe now that they're finally willing to hear the buttered up version of what I've said from their industry peers as they're being ushered out of the building, it kind of doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter anymore. These entities ruining games finally got what they wanted. And that's for people to listen to them. Wherever you go, whatever you do, testers will be right there screenshotting you. You don't want to find out why they call them gamers. It's kind of like the joke, you know why I got these scars? We thought you heckin' Redditorino theater kid Discord mods were at the very least serviceable actors, but as usual, I guess people would prefer no service to whatever it is that you call in, you know. I've realized my mission. So the other 4 objectives that I set out to a couple of months ago, we're going to be on our way to that. I'm going to leave this tweet here and we can talk about it later. Gift me games on Steam, items in Fortnite, things on my wish list for my birthday, and I'll play Monster Hunter with any big titty beta tester when it comes out. Because, you know, I suck. You need to carry me for a goddamn change. You guys suck at Marvel Rivals, man. Show me otherwise. Get in there and prove otherwise. You're flat-chested. Prove me. Like, sub, and get into the sponsors and soon-to-be supporters. Shut up. You spin my head right round, like a record, baby. Right round, right round.
Why did Mom give you the silver? I was supposed to get the silver.
Where were you when Mom was sick?
Oh, that's right. You were in Florida with that guy.
Don't talk to my wife that way.
Talk to her any way I want to.
I've got to say, I think I want to be a Democrat.
Okay, time out. Fangs and claws away. Peace on earth, goodwill to each other. Where's the love? You can't stop Grandma. You can't.
Our gift is... ta-da! The one and only Rappy! You can do whatever you want with it, Commander, because it's all yours now. What's it called again? A quick ass?
It's aqueous.